Top of the hour. Oh boy. If you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime. Trump will at least crack some jokes. Yeah, I mean, look, it's just I don't want Trump to win. I do think he will, most likely, if the Democrats keep doing this. And it's 2:30. I know. Here's the 3-minute ad break now. I told you, middle of the hour one.
Chief Legal Affairs Correspondent Paula Reed, Senior Supreme Court Analyst Joan Paskupik, also a team of the best lawyers on earth. First, to Paula Reed. Paula, tell us what the judges said here.
So here, the D.C. Circuit Court rejecting former President Trump's argument that presidential immunity should shield him from the federal election.
Donald Trump is better inadvertently. He's the only one stopping the terrible immigration genocide aid going through. Wait, what? No, he just wants to push his own bill, which the Democrats will resist against and then inevitably capitulate on, most likely, or the Republicans will be able to push through if they actually have majority in both the House and the Senate. Republicans, with the exception of John McCain, actually are pretty aligned usually when it comes to like deregulation and tax cuts and shit like that. I mean, people literally talk about how Donald Trump was going to unwind Obamacare, right? And John McCain very bravely stood up against it and whatever. Bro, Donald Trump literally nuked the funding mechanism of the individual mandate anyway. Like, he ended up getting what he wanted to do out of Obamacare regardless. Another lost in the sauce narrative that many people don't even talk about. So he won on every issue, okay? Trump won on everything, pretty much. And the only problem is that he is a victim of his own success.
Subversion case. Now, this outcome was very much expected. He lost on this issue at the trial court, and a month ago, when they held oral arguments on this question, the 3 judges hearing the case appeared quite skeptical of Trump's lawyers' arguments that their client enjoyed near absolute immunity for anything that he did while in office. Let's listen to this.
What is this? Oh my God, they're posting my fucking nuke strategy. Give up nukes, get invaded. Americans being reticent to support Ukraine will affect global history. Rules to having sovereignty for your country. 1, get nukes. 2, do not give up your nukes. 3, if you're accused of having nukes, drop everything and immediately find some nukes. Dude, the Hasanabi doctrine is fucking moving, baby. We even got the weirdos of world news pushing for it. Let's go. Let's fucking go. It's ironic because I literally wrote the doctrine off of Ukraine. So, big L for Ukraine, giving up the nukes.
Quote now from today's opinion. They say, quote, for the purpose
stolen from
of
Brace? No. Brace is different doctrines, like never get on a helicopter.
This criminal case, former President Trump has become Citizen Trump, with all of the defenses of any other criminal defendant. But any executive immunity that may have protected him while he served as president no longer protects him against this prosecution. Pretty clear there on what they think of his claims of presidential immunity, but this is also very much about timing. The Trump legal strategy, while they are litigating some legitimate constitutional questions, they are also trying to do anything they can to delay these federal cases until after the November 2024 election. If Trump is reelected, he could, through his attorney general, likely make both of these cases go away. That is part of why they want to delay these. And this appeals court heard this case on an expedited schedule, but it still took them a month to issue this opinion. But now they are making up for lost time because they're saying that they're going to send this whole case back down to the trial court next week unless the Supreme Court intervenes. Now, if the Supreme Court does not opt to intervene here, if this does go back to the trial court next week, that means that it is likely that this case could go to trial before November.
Yep.
All right,
big L. Oh boy, big L for Trump.
Response very quickly. What is going to happen next? In other words, how quickly might a case go forward, Jack Smith's case in particular, go forward?
So first, we know that the Trump team is going to appeal. They issued a statement to our colleagues. They're saying they're going to appeal. What's not clear is if they're going to take a sort of a midway step, which is to ask the full circuit court of appeals to have a hearing en banc, so all the judges in this circuit would hear the case. Now, many people opt not to do that because if you lost with 3 judges, unlikely many times that you're going to win with the full circuit. But here again, it's about anything to delay. So they may try that. These 3 judges have laid out instructions if the Trump team does that, or they will appeal to the Supreme Court. And they've set this deadline of February 12th. If the Supreme Court does not intervene by February 12th, the circuit is going to send this back down to the trial court. Now, after that, when can this find a place on the calendar? Well, possibly April. I mean, they're going to need a little time to prepare. The case has been on hold. The judge has frozen all the filings, the things that they need to do to prepare. But it could absolutely go this spring, possibly this summer, if it goes back to Judge Tanya Chutkan next week.
All right, Paul, stand by. I want to bring in our senior Supreme Court analyst, Joan Paskupik. The Supreme Court now has to decide by February 12th whether they even want to take this up. What are the considerations here, Joan?
Well, first of all, isn't that the deadline for when Donald...
This isn't the Trump trial for the RICO one. That's the one that's going to be televised. Unfortunately, the federal court case is not going to be televised because the federal circuit is lame as hell, and they don't do it, which is messed up, in my opinion. Yeah, this is the J6 one. This is a federal one. This is Jack Smith. It's lame. It's lame as hell, to be honest. It's super lame. Whereas, what is this? Bachelor Joey Gradazzi confuses Gypsy Rose Blanchard for Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I don't even know what this article is. Do you think this is the most depressing election in American history? Do you also think it's the most important? No. I don't think it's the most. I think 2016 was way more important in the grand scheme of things in American history than this one. It is definitely the most depressing. No, man, it's the most boring. It's the most depressing. It's the most like both parties are kind of literally pushing for identical positions on a lot of issues that matter. It's Jover, dude. The Supreme Court has a fucking Republican supermajority. The Republicans have won, guys. They already completely gutted the power of the legislative body. They utilize the state legislatures. I've been saying this for years at this point. I don't know what the fucking, I don't know what else to do. I just keep repeating myself over and over again. Republicans don't care about legislation unless it's like a budget bill that you can pass with a simple majority. And that oftentimes always finds its way to success. And it's usually about deregulating certain things or basically pushing for any kind of tax cuts for the wealthy. Okay. But beyond that, Republicans always just go back to pushing bills at the state level where they win, even if they lose, because of incredible amounts of gerrymandering and redistricting gerrymandering that allows them to win state legislatures, even if they're fucking losing the elections overall. So then they sidestep the actual federal legislative body, push for bills at the state level, have those bills be contested at the federal level through the courts, okay? And then it makes its way up through all of the Supreme Courts, all the federal courts, and also the obviously the Supreme Court that they've packed to the gills with Federal Society judges and justices. It makes its way all the way up to Supreme Court, and then the Supreme Court basically says, yeah, no, it's fine. Go ahead. They legislate at a state-by-state basis and enact all of their cruelty-laden agendas, even if there is no real appetite for it in the actual states where they are pushing this kind of agenda. They do it already. And you don't even need to use Congress at all. The greatest example of this is the anti-LGBT stuff that they've been pushing at every state. There is no real appetite for it. There's no real like single issue voter for it. They're just designing it as, I think, the next wave of culture war issues and trying to desperately manufacture insanity surrounding trans stuff and implement like a trans panic so they can get a new wave of single issue voters to mobilize around the issue. It hasn't worked yet, but I think eventually their goal is to try and get enough people to be so brain broken that like it will work. But all the while they're in the process of trying to make it work, they're still pushing these bills anyway. I don't think it will. I don't think it will like ultimately lead to enough people legitimately pushing like anti-trans messaging or becoming like single issue anti-trans voters or anything like that. Lol, you're helping them. I'm so defeated. You can't be tanky right now. I've raised more money for trans issues and I've been advocating for trans rights for longer than you probably, if you are trans, have been trans. Okay? I'm just going to say that real quickly. Get this shit out of here. Don't even come at me with this nonsensical tanky bullshit. What do you mean tanky? What is tanky? The fuck am I talking about tanky? Explain your position right now. 1, are you trans or are you not trans? Tanky equals transphobic? What? Tanky does not equal transphobic? They're stupid, ignore them? No, I want to know what happens in the mind of an 8-month subscriber. This notion that like we have to vote for Biden because he's going to defend trans rights is really funny. But I do want to know what I want this person to explain it to me. I'm not saying that Trump is going to be better than Biden, but everything that I just explained literally happened under the Biden administration. You understand that, right? Everything I just explained happened under the Biden administration. Everything I just explained is a byproduct of the Republican Party basically completely sidestepping the Oh, I'm coming in, not about the current conversation? What? I'm coming in on your last Twitter post? My last Twitter post, which is what, this? This is the tanky? I'm being a tanky for saying this? I'm a tanky for saying Joe Biden should not push a right-wing framing on immigration? Especially one that like won't win him any favors? That's me being a tanky? Like, this is pro-Democratic Party. I don't know if you're aware of this or not. There is perhaps no better demonstration that, like, people have completely lost their minds. And just basically, like, YouTuber essayists, especially when it comes to, like, debate YouTubers, have been such a massive burden on, like, political discourse in this little marginal space that we exist in. Obviously, no one is like pushing the needle in any direction, but it just makes people way more fucking stupider, way dumber, way more brain broken. Like, you have dumb motherfuckers coming in here just like repeating whatever claims they think the other guys are making. We've just become progressively stupider. What are you talking about? What does that tweet do, he says? What do you want me to do? Lap up the Democratic Party and be like, actually, this is a brilliant 5D chess move? Just go back to Vosh so he can agree with exactly what I'm saying. So then you can come back and be like, okay, never mind. You aren't a tanky. The fuck are you talking about? I'm willing to bet that even Vosh probably looks at the situation and has enough fucking brain cells to recognize that he literally, this is dumb as fuck. At what point do we not vote for the Democratic Party then? Tanky, tanky, tanky. Put a tank up your fucking... Jesus Christ, dude. Motherfucker said, I'm a tanky for saying the Democratic Party should message better on immigration. That's me being a tanky. What the fuck's a tanky, dude? Anyone that ever has criticized the Democratic Party? QAnon brain dumb fuck? That's so insane, bro. This is pro-Democratic Party. My take here is pro-Democratic Party, okay? I'm criticizing the Democratic Party for doing bad politics and bad policy. What a perfect demonstration that these fucking dumb, brain-broken losers have no way of understanding politics at all. They just like literally repeat and rehash the talking points that other YouTubers have given them, which, by the way, they don't even fully comprehend. Because I'm willing to bet that even Vosh would fucking probably not disagree with me on this. At what point, the question remains, at what point do you think we can criticize the Democrats in an election year? Can we criticize them on this? Are we allowed to criticize them on this when they're pushing a right-wing immigration bill? Or is that me being a tanky? Is that me being anti-electoralist? At what point? Is it when the Democrats say, well, trans rights are actually not a real issue. Why do we care about it? We should concede and capitulate to the Republicans on trans rights. That's why I'm pushing for a bill that also makes it illegal to be trans in public. When Joe Biden comes out and says something like that, will you go, oh, dude, you still got to vote for the Democratic Party. They're still going to be better than the Republicans on trans issues. Is that what you're going to say? Stop getting your fucking political views off of YouTubers. Do some reading, myself included, okay? It's not worth losing your cool over this. What a fucking sad, pathetic state of affairs that the supposed left has become online. Oh my Lord. We were already fucking powerless anyway. We have no real political power regardless, okay? But goddamn, dude, I didn't realize we were going to be even dumber than before. Holy shit, tanky this, tanky that. There are people who think that they're like radical in their politics, who basically are like for free defending the Democratic Party without even getting paid by them online, thinking that they're making good arguments. While the Democratic Party is pushing for, it's not a Vosh fan, it's a KF's fan. I don't even, what is a KFS? It's just, it is literally the bottom of the barrel, okay? We're racing to the bottom with who can have the dumber take here. People use the term tanky unironically isn't serious about politics. Yeah. Fuck. I can't wait for someone to clip that trans thing out too, by the way, to be like, Hasan is transphobic. Look at him yelling at a trans chatter here, which probably isn't even a fucking trans chatter, by the way. Just like someone who's LARPing here. But no, fuck the Dem Party. When Trump is elected, y'all can suck my dick. Yes, it is better than Trump, you fucking idiot. Better of evils is where I live. It could be better, but you're going to get Trump elected with this bullshit? Yeah, dude. Shut the fuck up, you dumb, brain-broken loser. This is Trump shit. This literally funds Trump's border wall. Suck my dick. I'm the reason Trump's going to get elected? Hell yeah, baby. I can't wait. I can't wait to get Trump elected. I love Donald Trump. He's my favorite. I have such profound abilities to fucking get whoever I want elected that's why Bernie Sanders did his own like 8-year regime. Yeah. This stream is so unpleasant. I'm turning it off. Yeah, take a fucking week off, jackass. Let me help you out with this. Dumb bitch. Where's the other fucking idiot? I'm going to ban that one too. What was it? NWS or whatever the fuck? There you go. Suck my dick. You got permit. Fucking stupid idiots, dude. Jesus Christ. I swear to God. Democratic Party's dick riders disgust me, okay? At least Republicans get something from voting for the Republican Party. They're racist as fuck, and they think they're like dominating the motherfucking, servile masses that are of a inferior race when they fucking vote for Donald Trump. The Democratic Party doesn't even give you anything when you vote for them, and is doing the same thing that the Republican Party is doing, but you still think you're like intellectually superior to the dumb hogs that vote for the fucking fascist party. You're so fucking cucked. How? What good did this do here? What did you do? You didn't do anything. You're just riding for a team for no reason. Oh. Fuck me. How long before transphobic laws become enacted in California with all these anti-trans laws passing? I feel scared. No. There's always going to be like blue state enclaves, okay? That's it. Please calm down. The chatter was only an 8-month sub and is probably also on their own journey. Yeah, their own journey to becoming more brain broken, okay? I have no fucking patience for people who are so smarmy in their stupidity, okay? I'm sorry. It is so ridiculous. I spent the past 3 fucking hours describing in detail, going through step by step as to why this right-wing bill is bad policy and bad politics, only for some dumb fuck to come in here and be like, oh, I guess you want Joe Biden to lose. Get excited for when Trump wins, sweaty. See you at the camps. And then you ask me to fucking calm down? What the fuck are you talking about? I literally am at the end of my rope here. Some dumb fuck reads a tweet, doesn't even like think about it at all, and immediately goes down and comes in here to be like, I guess you want Trump elected. You must be a tanky. Half the tankies these guys, mostly cis guys, blame for letting anti-trans stuff get passed are literally trans people. Yeah, that's the other part of it too. It's just like, remember that, wasn't there like a trans Twitter user who literally was like, hey guys, I don't know what the hell's going on here, but like under the Biden regime, okay, under the Biden administration, I as a trans person had a lot of my civil liberties removed in a red state. And then half of the fucking libtards were dunking on the trans person, being like, oh yeah? Well, fuck you. Bitch, you deserve to be fucking genocided when Trump wins. And it's like, dude, this is a person who is trans. Like, you're saying that you care about trans people. This is a trans person openly recognizing their own personal conditions. The fuck? Like, what is the reason to vote for the Democratic Party if is it just to make you feel good? Is that what it is? What the fuck? Remember your New Year's resolution? You try to teach someone and they showed their ass and got clapped. Yeah, this is like, I'm unwinding a little bit because like on my New Year's resolution to be charitable, but like I can't be charitable to a person who's so smarmy and annoying in their stupidity. Like as soon as someone goes, rage bait, fucking got him because I read your tweet and I'm mad. Like it's just, that person is too stupid for me to reason with. It sucks. I wish they were better. It also freaks me out when people just like come in here and immediately hit the what about the trans people line. It is the liberal version of like what Republicans do. You know how Republicans say, what about the homeless veterans? Like we're letting in immigrants in this country. What about our homeless veterans? It's the same exact cynical bullshit Liberals being like, oh, well, you don't care about trans people, I guess. That's why you want Biden to lose. It's like, one, I don't want that. Okay. And two, you're a cynical fucking asshole for coming in here and saying that to me of all fucking people. Okay. You assumed a position, most likely, that like trans people participating in sports was probably the most important thing to talk about for months on end, which is a completely right-wing framing on a nonsensical issue. Now you dare to come to me and fucking complain and say, I don't care about trans people? Every single person that literally spent months on end talking about like dunking on the one 14-year-old trans girl at the swim meet in fucking Kansas as though it's the singular most important force that moves the needle in American politics. Utterly dominated by reactionary charlatans, okay? These guys with like 3.5 fucking brain cells are able to dominate the conversation all day, every day, because so many liberals are hyper fixated on whatever the fuck Republicans are pushing for, because they want to come across as morally coherent against Republicans. They're like, oh yeah, I'm not hypocritical. I want the Republicans to believe that I actually genuinely do have a consistent moral position on this. Let's debate the 14-year-old trans girl at the swim meet 1,000 times over. Anyway, trans, cis, doesn't matter. You're all seeing ads at the top of the hour. Okay? That's it. Can't wait for this to be another fucking 25-minute to 45-minute video on like every fucking dumb charlatan liberal debate pervert channel being like, Hasan loses his mind on a trans chatter. I literally have fucking PTSD at this point from like the way I react to people, because I know that like everyone's going to be eating good for a week. Okay? Every single person. I'm so broken, man. I'm actually broken as fuck. I can't do this any longer. I don't want to do it.
I also want to bring in CNN political director David Chalian. He has a closer look at this new CNN poll on Trump's legal troubles. David, how do Americans view Trump's in the aftermath of the 2020 presidential election, and do they trust the U.S. Supreme Court on these issues?
Wolf, in this brand new CNN poll conducted by SSRS, we see that 45% of Americans believe that Trump acted illegally in the aftermath of the 2020 election. 32% say he acted unethically but not illegally. And a quarter of Americans, 23%, say Donald Trump did nothing wrong at all. But look at this 45% who say he acted illegally. I want to look at that number by party, how it breaks out. So Democrats, 80% of them think he acted illegally. Independents, 45% think that. And 10% of Republicans only think he acted illegally. Look at what that was a year and a half ago. These opinions of Donald Trump's actions after the 2020 election are locked in. They're identical, basically, to what they were a year and a half ago. To your question about the Supreme Court, well, only 11% of Americans have a great deal of trust in the Supreme Court to make the right decisions on 2024 cases. 31% say a moderate amount. Another third say just some trust. And a quarter of Americans, 23%, say no trust at all in the Supreme Court.
This is great, man. Who are the 11% that trust the Supreme Court? I mean, who is the American that's like, I love the Supreme Court. I trust them unconditionally. They're so good.
Supreme Court on these 2024 election cases, Wolf.
That last number is disturbing. How important is it, David, to voters to have a verdict in the Trump federal election subversion case?
Well, we asked that question, is it essential to have a verdict in that critical case, that election subversion case. 48% of Americans say yes, it's essential to have a verdict before the 2024 election. 16% additionally say, yes, it's not essential, but yes, they want a verdict. So add that together, you have a clear majority of Americans who want a verdict before the 2024 election. A quarter of Americans say doesn't matter at all, and 11% say no, they do not need the outcome of that race, of that case before the election. Wolf.
Interesting. David Chalian, our political director, thank you. I want to bring in our senior political analyst, Gloria Borger, and CNN legal analyst, Elliot Williams. And Elliot, we just heard how Americans feel going into this important Thursday historic Supreme Court hearing right now. What did the Trump team's arguments that we learned about reveal to you?
I think what they reveal is that there are a few different ways that the Trump team is saying that the Supreme Court can, in effect, keep former President Trump on the ballot. And many of them, if not most of them, don't involve touching the insurrection question at all. The Supreme Court can actually resolve the issue without weighing in on whether Donald Trump is or isn't an insurrectionist. They can answer this question of whether, for instance, the president or the presidency is, quote unquote, an officer of the United States, which seems obvious to us talking, but is a complicated legal question in the Constitution. And there's a few legal issues like that that I think the Supreme Court probably focuses on rather than insurrection.
You know, most Americans, according to this new CNN poll, Gloria, say Trump's actions around the 2020 presidential election were...
Okay, I'm fucking done with this.